Okay, look, everybody. I was going to try and get through this latest WWE Diva versus Women's controversy with fans. I was trying to let it pass over me like a rainfall, but I just feel that I have to say something. People are giving NoDQ.com a hard time because of an article they presented or they published about which divas should be allowed. The writer wasn't Aaron Rift; it was a writer who basically pissed on the Bellas and saying that certain women shouldn't be on this Evolution show or they should be minimized and so forth, and basically just trying to play like everybody else. I'm the booker, and his point, the way I interpret it, was that there's so much current talent, say of Ember Moon or so forth, that some of these women, and I guess he was putting the Bellas in a negative light and their current wrestling skills. And hey, guess what, folks? A lot of people didn't like the Bellas when Nikki Bella was champion for over a year or about a year. A lot of people, a lot of fans at that time didn't like that. They thought she was hogging up the belt and it was only there because of John Cena and so on and so forth. So let's not have revisionist history here. Um, my take on it is this: it doesn't matter really in the big picture because the WWE Women's Evolution is really a marketing tool. It's a marketing tool that they use in the United States and other countries that have equality or close to equality, at least in theory, for women. In countries such as Saudi Arabia, as we know, where the women aren't allowed to compete, they don't get women's evolution. That's not part of their marketing for those countries. So unless it's a universal, worldwide, company-wide policy to promote the women and have equality, every venue they go to, whether that's a big show in Saudi Arabia or anywhere else, to me it's an empty thing. So I mean, I see a lot of passion out there. People are trying to defend the Bellas, or you should be pushing Ember Moon or Sasha Banks or so forth. And I get that. In my opinion, yeah, I mean, it'd be better to have the Charlotte Becky Lynch match as a main event. Actually, do something with Sasha. Are they going to do these women's tag team titles or not? Why was the big deal that Sasha and Bayley had to be friends? Who cares if they're friends? Why didn't they let them feud? I mean, that's an issue of contention for me. I mean, if they actually had something going with Becky and Sasha that had promise when Becky attacked Sasha, then they put them in therapy, and then they're just a tag team. But there's no tag team belts that they're competing for. I mean, if you want to talk about the atrocities in women's wrestling for WWE, talk about Becky and not Becky, I'm sorry, Sasha Banks and Bayley, and how they've misused that storyline. You had a perfectly good storyline. You had a really good storyline going there. And now they have to be friends. Why do they have to be friends? Why do they have to go to the be therapy and friends when they can just feud and beat each other up? I mean, when Bayley turned on Sasha and it looked like Bayley was turning heel, that was a great moment. I bought into that. As I've stated in other videos, I've stopped recording SmackDown and Raw for about a week now. And so if I happen to be home and I happen to catch the shows or catch people talking about it, I'll be informed. And I watched the Hell in a Cell, but I'm kind of going through a process of weaning myself off of WWE. And if that means that, every once in a while I'm going to chime in and say something, I'll say something. But we have to get to a point, and there's a lot of intelligent wrestling fans out there that are very passionate. And some of these people who I read their articles and I see the passion and I see the motivation and I see what they're trying to say one way or the other. But let's not, we're trying to be adults here, okay? And we can't put these fucking McMahon assholes on some pedestal like their opinions about women's wrestling or there's some authority. The bottom line is this: they control the show. They're not going to hire any of us to work for them as writers, okay? I've had a job interview with WWE. They didn't hire me, and they should have. I would have been creating better content for all of us wrestling fans than these assholes have in years. They don't want the best and the brightest. They want the pencil pushers that are going to do what they want them to do and write the crap storylines. Vince is getting old. He's out of touch. Look, everyone gets fucking old. Vince peaked in 85 to, say, 2001. When he acquired WCW and we started the XFL, that was the downfall of Vince. I don't think he's been as good since, to be honest with you, and prove me wrong on that. So the point of the fucking matter is this, folks. Don't get your emotions so worked up about either the no DQ article or the people responding. It's not worth our emotions. It's not worth us caring. They've lost us. They've lost our emotional connection to the product. I mean, now we have and people say, well, wrestling fans just like to bitch. Now, wrestling fans just like to, well, you know what? Good. We like to bitch, okay? But we're bitching because we have a passion for this thing. We love this thing called wrestling, but we love it more than the WWE loves it right now. So if things like All In, even with Joey Ryan and his goddamn Dick Druid horrible spots, if that's what people are left with, that's what people are left with. If the WWE finds themselves at the negotiating table with Anthem or Japanese promotions or whatever in order to salvage their company, that's fine. But as far as being a wrestling fan who's just going to buy into whatever Vince McMahon, those fucking idiots have to say right now, I'm just not going to do it. I know I'm a better writer than who they have because I've written it, okay? Deep down inside, I know that the storyline I wrote, going back to 2000, what year was it? 2002, that I originally wrote it, had the job interview in 2007. I know I'm a better writer than who they have. So I'm just not impressed, okay? And when they make these deals with other countries for a lot of money, and sell out Sami Zayn. People aren't talking about that. You know, Sami Zayn's on the injury shelf. But how would you like to be Sami Zayn? Work your ass off for this pro wrestling company, this sports entertainment company, and then you can't wrestle in the Saudi Arabian shows because of the political differences between his countries, between Sami's nationality and the... You know what I mean? So let's not think that WWE gives a flying fuck shit about themselves or about us or morality or ethics. Let's just cut through that crappy goddamn lie. Okay? So when the wrestling fans get passionate and they feel like bisexual chocolate who made this nice column and so on and so forth, people put a lot of time and energy and effort, but it's all for naught. No offense, but it's all for nothing because they don't deserve our passion. They don't deserve our fanhood. They don't deserve our respect. If any of these women wrestlers or the male wrestlers cared that the women weren't brought into the Saudi Arabian shows, they would have made a statement, okay? Lita said a little something, but she's going to be on Evolution too to get a fucking paycheck. That's what matters to these wrestlers now. It's all about a goddamn payoff. So let's not give them I just don't look up to wrestlers anymore. I don't look up to the WWE. I see them as clowns on my entertainment screen, okay? So stop thinking that they care or they have ethics or we have to look up to them. If the fans who like Nikki Bella 4 or 5 years ago, and see, people think that the Bellas show or the Total Divas or Total Bellas or for like women, you know, like the businesswoman who's 35 is going to go rushing home to watch Total Divas. It's not really. It's for like 10-year-old girls. Okay? So that's, when I went to a WWE show about 4 or 5 years ago, and I think it was either a Raw or a SmackDown taping, and the Bellas came out. They got a fucking different type of pop. I heard it. I'm like, wow. It was a pop of young women. And I mean, not 30-year-old women, like, not 20-year-old women, like little fucking teenage girls. Whoever, I couldn't even see, I could hear them. Like, they had an audible pop for these women, for the, like, 12-year-old girls were going nuts for the fucking Bellas in the live show that I went to. So my point is, they do have fans. They got you through that certain generation, but if you're a grown person, whether you're male or female, watching WWE thinking they give a flying fuck shit about anything, they don't. If they want to have, I mean, why isn't Sasha wrestling Bayley? Why aren't they competing for a tag team title by now? Anyway, that's the goddamn point. So the wrestling fans out there who get so passionate, I respect it, I understand it, I appreciate your passion. The storyline is this, though. They don't give a flying fuck about any of us. That's the secret. And they don't even care about the American or the Canadian or the European fans as much as they care about that Saudi Arabian money because it's guaranteed. So we've been sold out. We as the fans of these countries have been sold out in order to appease the prince and his money. Wake up. MikeMessier.com with your fucking facts.